Let me bang,
I
man.
do let you bang. Hey,
Let me bang the game, man.
I let you bang. I let you bang.
Greetings, nerds and virgins.
Go for Jesus. No for Jesus, people.
Hey, I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for your favorite mixed martial arts podcast. Recording out of Los Angeles, California, it's MMA Roasted with Adam Hunter.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
What's up, people? Adam Hunter here. I am here with my man, Bubba Jenkins.
What up, my man? What's going on with you, big dog?
How are you? How's you're fighting this week, this Friday night? You got your big fight in the PFL against their two-time defending champion, a guy who's 9-0 in the PFL, has never lost in the PFL. This dude, like, they're throwing you to the wolves, man. First fight in, you're fighting Lance Palmer, but you got this. How are you feeling?
When you're a lion, bro, all they can find is the wolves for you. So it's no biggie. This is what we do.
You can see this fight. I can't wait. You can watch it on 9 o'clock on ESPN2, 9 Eastern time. ESPN2, the prelim start at 5:30 Eastern on ESPN+. Bubba, man, now you beat this guy, it says 3 times in college, but you beat him more, you told me, right?
Yeah, so they got the exact numbers. There was one time he forfeited. I thought I had beaten him about 5 times, but I only beat him 3 out of the 4. We wrestled 4 times. I'm not going to count, obviously, the forfeit that he gave me, so I'm not going to be like, oh, I beat him 4 times when he never showed up. But 3 wins out of 4, I'll take that. You know, sometimes, 3 turns into 6, 6 turns into 8, whatever. We got some wins.
Of course. Now, now he's really evolved. I mean, he's not the same wrestler. You've evolved too. Yeah. Do you think that he's been more active than you, but you're Bubba Jenkins, man. You're a gamer. Like when the lights are on is when you come to shine.
Absolutely, you can count on me to definitely show up, especially against someone like himself. Like you said, he has evolved, and we have evolved from the wrestlers we were in college to the fighters that we are now. My man's won 22 out of 25 of his fights, so he's legit. But I seen Andre Harrison. I remember we were on the MMA Roasted Podcast. Shout out to you and me back in the days doing our podcast, and then they put $50,000 up from the World Series of Fighting for me to fight Andre Harrison. And me and you were of the belief that we would definitely run through Andre. So it was not even a question that we would want to do that. I even talked to Bellator about trying to match that fee and all that. But we watched Andre Harrison in this training camp not only go through Palmer, but, pretty much didn't put the pedal on the metal and pretty much could have knocked him out at any given time. It really looked like. And, I feel like I'm a better wrestler than not only than Palmer, but than Andre. I'm a better striker than Andre. I'm a better athlete than Andre. I have a mentality very similar to Andre's. And no disrespect to him, I'm just going to compare me and him as we both look and match up to Palmer. And I just feel like I'm slightly better than him, therefore being enough and more than enough to knock Palmer out when I want and how I want, which will be in the second round.
Now, Bubba, I got to say, man, and I don't mean this as an insult. You're your own worst enemy, because I honestly think you could beat anybody in the world. I honestly think, when you're at your best, nobody can beat you. Nobody can beat you. It's when you go into fights with, 2 days notice, or you got to lose 95 pounds on the flight to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I've never lost a fight. And I wouldn't say that I'm my own worst enemy. I've taken those fights because I had bills to pay and things like that, and trying to figure out the sport of MMA. In the beginning, you think it's a tough man sport, anybody, anywhere, anytime. But as you grow in the sport, you understand that there's matchups. You understand that there's things you have to do to prepare yourself for the mentality that it takes, the edge that it takes to, be recovered, all the 15 minutes or 25 minutes, whatever it may be. And as you grow from challenger to contender to champion, you learn those things. So I wouldn't say that it was me stepping on me. It was me understanding how to become the professional athlete that I am. But I've never lost a fight, not once, with a full training camp.
No, you're definitely one of the kids. You're that kid that says, don't touch the stove. You got to touch the stove. That's the way it is. It's like –
I got to figure it out for myself.
In high school, it's like, don't get a blowjob on the school bus. You got a blowjob on the school bus.
Didn't get a blowjob on the school bus. Definitely got a blowjob, though.
Oh, got it. But now here you are, and now you're a man. You got your own gym in Vegas, working with Dewey Cooper. You got great corner, and I think with $1 million on the line, I think this is a whole new motivated Bubba Jenkins. $1 million.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. A whole new motivated me. We'll be fighting way more often. You know, there's a fight obviously that I got preparing for this Friday, and I'm not looking past it, but that's the first round of this, and then they start calculating the points depending on rounds you win and things you do. And then we got another fight in 6-7 weeks or something like that. So yeah, man, it's a build up to $1 million, and I'm more focused than I've ever been. Like you said, I'm the head coach at a high school team. I have my own wrestling club. I have my own gym. I have my own fight team. I'm becoming into the man that most people expected me to be. As they hear the way I speak, they hear the way I fight, they hear the way I move and talk. So, they knew I was destined for great things, and I believe I'm coming into that.
No, 100%. Now, you're also you gave him a tour of your college, Lance Palmer.
Yeah, no, he came to Ohio State was playing Penn State in football one year, and he came out for the Ohio State football Penn State team, and we definitely had a night on the town, man. I took him all over the spots, took him to my favorite chicken spot, favorite places to eat. We went what we call bubbing. We didn't go clubbing, we went bubbing. So I took him to a bunch of the cool frats, and then we went to my house, got in a hot tub, hung out. His girlfriend, future wife, was there, and we had a great time, man. And that was the little recruiting visit of how I got to show him how I live at Penn State. When usually you don't get to show other athletes that unless you're kind of cool with each other, even though you guys competed and things like that. So yeah, it was dope. Once he was in town, he hit me up, and I was like, yeah, man, let's go out tonight. And I showed him a great time.
Nice.
But he definitely knows who I am, and I definitely know who he is.
I can't wait. Now, let's talk about some of the other fights on this card. Let's do some picks. We got Anthony Pettis versus Clay Collard. Who do you feel like in that fight?
Man, Anthony looked good in some of his workouts and his warm-ups. I've been here for, 2 weeks now, and we have a 17-day quarantine. He looks fast. He looks sharp. But I watched Clay fight on Top Rank, and I was a really big fan of his striking. But it's the mixed martial arts, and it's just a different breed. So it's a toss-up. But with the fact that Clay just lost his younger brother and he's fighting on that inspiration, I'm gonna go with Clay.
You think Clay's gonna pull off a big upset? Wow,
I'm going for the underdogs. I'm rooting for underdogs this round.
Wow, I like it. All right, what about Natan Schiltz versus Martine Held?
Hard to go against the good wrestler in Schultz, but I think I think Martine is very, very experienced in his ability to grapple. We've been on a couple of cards in Bellator together. He's so sneaky and tricky that if Nathan didn't do a good job of really understanding the submission game, he'll get submitted. But if he doesn't get submitted, he'll win the fight.
Okay.
If Pettis doesn't get knocked out, he'll win the fight.
Okay, so you're saying that all right, I like that. I mean, that's kind of you're kind of like covering.
No. Don't give me rules. Don't give me rules. I did what I did. I said what I said.
All right,
that's kind of me saying if it don't go forward, it goes the way it goes.
How's your
I got
weight
both
cut,
of them. But if he knocks him out, if it ends in a knockout, I got Clay. If it ends in decision, I got Pettis.
Now, 145, I know sometimes you get bigger. One time I called you Blubber Jenkins. You almost killed me. How much you weigh, right? How much weight are you cutting?
I ain't telling you that, boy. You know that. You act like that I'm ever going to give you that. I'm never going to give you that. That's too much inside the game of the fighter and what he's got to do, what he's got to prepare for, how the pace is going to change for the other fighter. You trying to give me. Okay, you're trying to have me give them my secrets away. No, sir. You'll never know that.
Secrets are safe here. All right. Yep. Movid Kavulaev versus Lazar Stojanovic. You know these guys?
I'm gonna go with Lazar because he's my boy. I train with him at ATT. I train with him at Black House. I like Lazar a lot. He's coming in on a short notice. I really don't like the Russians' attitude. I don't like how cocky and, some can say that I'm cocky, but I'm just scrimmaging right now. I ain't really spitting real game. I'm just having a good time going back and forth with banter. He actually has a demeanor about him that is very, very off-putting. I don't like it.
All right. Okay. Got it.
So he better hope he don't get me because I'm not trying to fight him. I'm trying to hurt him.
Now, my man, by the way, the undercard starts, like we said, it's a great undercard. We got Shaman
really
Morass,
good fights.
Shaman Morass. It's on ESPN Plus. Shaman Morass versus Brendan Loughnane. You know anything about him?
Loughnane, I was supposed to fight him in ACA, but I think we both at the same time switched companies and organizations. I can't go against my training partner in Shaman, but Shaman's coming off of a couple of losses, and Brandon seems to be sharp. I'm going with my heart to go with Shaman, but good money says go with Brandon.
Joe Sungbean versus Tyler Diamond. My man Tyler Diamond. I love Tyler Diamond. Good guy. Team Alpha Male guy. 11-1. Only loss is to Bryce Mitchell, who's killing it right now. He lost him in the, I think, Ultimate Fighter finale against Joe Sungbean. I like Tyler in that one. Who do you like in this one?
I'll go with Diamond. I like your words on him.
And then Chris Wade versus Anthony Dizzy. Chris Wade's a guy who's always been right there. He's right there. He just can't seem to get over the mountain. He gets to the top of the mountain, but he just can't get over it.
Let's go with the fact that he's had a year off and a year to prepare. And so let's go with the fact that he makes Anthony dizzy.
I like it. Very clever, very clever. Ahmed Aliyev versus Mikhail Adintsov.
Don't know either one of those guys.
Jolton Lutterback versus Raush Manfio.
Don't know either one of those guys.
And Loic Rabadavaz versus Alexander Martinez.
He's got a big following, man. Everywhere I go on all the PFL stuff, it's Loic. So I'm gonna go with Loic. He obviously has some people convinced he's the man. So I'm gonna go with him and see what the chips hold.
I like this PFL. I like it. I'm very excited about it. I think it's a good place for you. I honestly think it's a good place because you're obviously a beast, and even the guys I watched the guy in Bellator that you just killed, Goto Yamauchi, was ranked 3rd in Bellator as of last week before he lost. So and I still think that was a very close fight that he won. So make sure that you guys watch it. PFL on the PFL. It's on the 5:30 Eastern Standard Time on ESPN Plus. The prelims, ESPN2, the main card at 9:00. Now, did you watch the Ben Askren versus Jake Paul fight?
I did. All 58 seconds of it.
I know that Askren was your coach at ASU.
Yeah, shout out to Askren. That's my guy.
That was hard to watch, man. That was so hard.
Yeah. Ashley, I don't know why people thought it would be anything different. First of all, Dewey Cooper helps and trains and has done some good things with the Paul brothers and brought in some training partners for him in his last camp. So, I've known Logan Paul to be a really good fighter. Logan and Jake, decent enough fighter to knock out someone who can't strike. And all love to Askren. Askren's my guy, but he can't strike. I've never seen him throw a combination in 15 fights. Not one combination. So
have you ever sparred with Jake or Logan?
No.
No.
I would absolutely would. If Dewey needed me to get in and give him some rounds, I'm capable of sparring with anyone in the world as a striker.
But you've watched them spar other people, and were you impressed by them?
Absolutely. They're sound fighters. I mean, they put some time and some effort into getting really good sparrings, having really good coaches, and doing the right things to set up these non-fighters. These guys are legit fighters.
There were so many.
They're boxing guys.
I can't believe how far Ben Askren has made it in MMA with the kind of striking he has. It shows you how important wrestling is. Because Ben Askren was a one championship belt holder and a Bellator belt holder, undefeated. He beat 20 guys, and everyone's like, he beat bums. He beat fucking Diego Lima. I mean, he beat like some huge guys. He beat De Haran. I mean, he beat good guys. The Haran fight was close, but the fact that he was able, but his whole striking was set up to not box. It was to like actually get you to not box him. I mean, why would we think that?
I didn't think that at all. I didn't think that it would be good at all. I knew that he wasn't going to be able to hold his own. It was a matter of time before he got hurt in the boxing match. He is nowhere near a boxer. He doesn't have the boxer twitch. He doesn't have the boxer walk. And I don't honestly think that he was that hurt when he got up and he was walking. I just think that's just the way he walks.
Yeah, 100%. He's had 2 hip surgeries, and he walks like Frankenstein. Like, I don't think he was that hurt either. I think he would have gotten hurt.
He would have got Nate Robinson for sure.
And what's it's sad because, I mean, look, I love Ben Askren. I watched him, he's a hero of mine. I look up to the guy. I look up to him so much. I don't understand why his training partners, like, I love Woodley and I love Biggie Mike. K9 seems like a good boxer. But why wouldn't they just say to him, hey, man, you may want to sit this one out. Let's get a
because it's glorified sparring for $500,000. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's mad money on the line to do what we do in the gym.
But he has mad money. He has so much money.
Yeah, okay. So what's another big ass check? Now he's got even more mad money. Like, what do you mean? I would fight Deontay Wilder for $500,000.
You would?
I would for $500,000.
For $500,000, yeah, I understand that. And he said it. Look, he said this is a money grab. I'm only doing it for money. I don't care if I win or lose. So I guess you're right. If Tyron and Biggie Mike, who I love those guys, if they're going, well, the guy's gonna fight anyway.
I'll fight John Jones for $500,000. I'll fight Francis Ngannou for $500,000.
Well, you might weigh as much as these guys in the off season, so I don't think that's actually that. But
even more reason to do it.
I understand. You know what? They're like, listen, my friend's doing it. He's going anyway. You might as well help prepare him, right? You might as well help him. But you think those guys thought he was going to win? Tyron and Biggie?
Maybe they thought he was going to win for not knowing the work that Paul's put in. That's where I think that lies. I don't think they know how much true work that the brothers have been putting in. They get real sparring in. They come to the real gyms and get real training partners, and they're not looking for the easy way out.
Yeah, but you know what? I think
except for when it comes for the match itself.
I think right. I think if they would have let Ben dirty box and hold and elbow and headbutt, it seemed like that was the game plan. Let's grind this fucking kid out. Let's beat him up. And let's just hold him and just sort of like tire his arms out, and then maybe come in like the 4th or 5th. But it was like, he waited.
But I knew he was going to try to hold him like a walking zombie and get uppercut, overhand, or hooked. And before the walking zombie even came out, he took a straight punch right over the top. I mean, my man leaned into it and slipped in that direction. You could tell, Ben's he's not a striker. Period.
It just shows you how wrestling is the most dominant thing, because a guy could win 19 fights at a pro level, at a highest level other than UFC, and still not know how to throw a punch. I mean, I think that was insane. But at the same time, you're right. Like, look, there were guys in the UFC that I used to wrestle with that I would beat wrestling pretty, and in a fight, they would fucking murder me. I mean, I wouldn't last a minute with these 2 minutes in a fight, but in a wrestling match, it's different. So just because Jake Paul wins a boxing match, if it was a fight, Askren would kill him. I think that's what's pissing people off also, because all these people are getting that fact that in a real fight, Askren would kill him, because they have to see it. People don't see it. Unless it's right in front of you, people don't actually see it. Like in that clinch, the time when the ref broke it up, if Ben would have just grabbed him, body locked him, taken him down, and then
absolutely. Also, man-on-man shit. If Logan Paul's at the bar and Askren's at the bar and Logan Paul slaps Askren in the face, Logan Paul gets put to sleep. He'd get murdered.
How?
because Ben grabs him and Paul never gets up. What do you mean
Right.
how? You just said it. What are you talking about? Are you listening to your own
I
interview?
just thought maybe there was a different way, like at the bar. It's Jake Paul we're talking about. But yeah, I hear you. But also,
either Paul, it don't matter. The little one, the older one, the bigger one, the smaller one, he grabs Paul, either one of the brothers, and he hurts both of them if this is an actual fight where you can do fighting, kneeing, elbow, submissions, all that type of stuff. You know, they can't get away from the real fight scene. But the fact that they're sticking with just two weapons, your left hand and your right hand, and it's only striking, you got no shot. No shot.
well, but also, why did Ben agree to fight at 190? I mean, he looked like Roy Nelson without the power. Like when Roy Nelson fucking weighs in like that, people are laughing at him, but you're like, yeah, okay, try getting hit by that fucking guy. It's over. It was like he looked like Roy Nelson without any weapons that Roy Nelson has. He had like Roy
because
Nelson.
because Ben Askren probably weighs about 200 pounds.
You think I think that Jake Paul weighs about 210, 215, cuts to
Oh
one.
yeah, you can tell he cut weight for it. You could see how at the weigh-ins he was sweating like he had to get down the weight. But as you saw,
But Askren
Ben
fought at
Askren
170.
told you
He
said
fought at
it was a money grab.
What
other than
He fought at 170. I know. I just hate seeing him get knocked out like that. It hurts me, man. Does it hurt you as a wrestler at all?
No, not at all. My man walked away with a big ass bag. I'm a little bit offended that we fighting for real and not getting nowhere near those type of times. It don't hurt me to see a man get knocked out when he knows that's the situation anyway.
Yeah, but isn't there a pride involved, or like respect?
Not in their book. Not in their book.
In your book, there's no pride.
There's a pride in my book. I'm not setting myself up for that.
So, like, I mean, if you fought Ngannou tomorrow, right? If you fought Mike Tyson, if Mike Tyson wanted to fight Bubba Jenkins at a boxing match, I think you would at least do better than Askren.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a pride behind me. I'm gonna have some pride behind me. Like I said, the John Jones, the Francis Ngannous, the Deontay Wilders. I'm gonna have a pride behind me to try to find a way to win. But I'm also gonna make it dirty as possible to get that bag. And the pride is feeding your family. The pride is knowing that it's an exhibition, knowing that, your kids will never have to work for it. What's even more prideful, getting knocked out by someone who can knock you out and will knock you out, or supplying a future for your children?
But the guy has 5 reps.
Not everybody's going to be Mayweather and take no losses.
But he made like $800,000 in the UFC. He got 5 wrestling academies. He's got like 18 Bitcoins. He's killing it.
Yeah.
He made all that money in UFC. He lives in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He doesn't buy Lamborghinis and shit. Probably has like farms. His wife sells real estate. They do very well. So,
right. And he put away $500,000 and even more probably in endorsements for 1 minute of work. Tell me one person that would not do that. One person. Bill Gates would pick up $500,000 for 1 minute.
Yeah, I understand your point, Bubba. I just it's just hard. It's hard.
And I'm cutting weight right now, so you're not going to get no funny business out of me. You're going to get the real, legit answers. I ain't got time for the bullshit. This is real.
Well, the good thing about the PFL is there's no clown fights, okay?
No clown fights.
And it doesn't matter how many Twitter followers you have. It doesn't matter how your social media. You make it to the finals, you get the million, you get the million. You could have no followers, no this, none of that. And trust me, some of these guys from Dagestan, I'm not sure how big they are on social media. But if they get there,
or in interviews, or in anything at all. But fighting is fighting, and when you get a tournament like this, like that's why I signed up for Bellator when it was what it was before Scott Coker came along. Bjorn had the tournament, and there was no talking your way into fights. You had to win the next fight, then win the next fight, and then that was what you were set up for. Now the game has changed in the UFC, and as you're seeing Conor take on Poirier wanting more to take on Conor than he wants to fight for the title, because it's about feeding your children, man. Times is hard out here. It's a damn pandemic.
This is all true. Now here's what Lance Palmer said about you. Okay, so Lance Palmer, he said Bubba Jenkins sucks. He's awful. He smelled. No, I'm kidding. He didn't say any of that. But I'll tell you what he did say. He said Bubba Jenkins. He did say, all right, here we go. Lance Palmer. I got to find this because he actually, this is like a feature fight. You know that, right? Like they're hyping this up.
Do I know that?
Yeah. So, all right, here we go. Lance Palmer says about you on Bubba. I respect Bubba as an athlete. I know how athletic he is. I know he's accomplished a lot in wrestling. But as far as me and him in a fight, I feel that nobody can beat me in MMA. That's the mentality that I've always had. I respect him as well as everyone else in the division. But when it comes down to it, I feel that I just have the better skill set. I feel that I can put that skill set on him. I respect Bubba a lot of respect for you. Don't get me wrong. I think as far as wrestling goes, he's one of the best to ever do it. And he was a very tough opponent to wrestle. He was very fast, very slick, had a huge cock. I hate that part. But from an MMA standpoint, I feel that I have way more tools in the bag when it comes to us squaring off against each other. How long he's known Jenkins? He was always bigger than me when we were in high school. He was 145, I was 140. We never wrestled against each other until college, but we knew each other for a while before that. Me and Bubba have known each other for a long time. I went to visit Penn State when Ohio played them. I met out with Bubba, took him around campus, good time. We actually had a threesome with a girl and high five during it. Wow, you guys are pretty close.
Not true. Can't say that because that was his wife.
Oh, okay. He didn't say that. Greg Wilson, Bubba Jenkins had to go early. So he said supposedly, then he talks about his baby. So yeah, that's what you said. That's what he said. Anything you want to say about what he said about you?
Yeah, I just got a couple questions. Is Lance Palmer faster than me? Hell no. Is he more athletic than me? Hell no. Is he more explosive than me? Hell no. Maybe I'll give him the strength, but that's not going to play a part in this. We're not doing a bench pressing competition. This is a full-fledged fight. I feel like I'm a better fighter, all-out fighter. My speed and my explosiveness and my athleticism will play a massive part in this fight. And I believe I'll slow him down with his little rushes that he does. I don't think he's developed. I literally have looked into his eyes as a fighter, and you know where fighters are when they look to be hesitant, you know, when they look to be scared. And I'm not saying he's scared, but I know what the look of a fighter who looks like confident and one who's on his back heels waiting to get his wrestle off. And I can see that he's waiting for the opportunity to get his wrestling off. And I'm not going to give him that. I'm going to stick a jab on him. I'm going to throw some knees at him. I'm going to throw some head kicks. And he's going to have to deal with the striking ability that he believes he has better than me.
Greg Wilson, Bubba had to go early. That's why we had to start.
Completely understand. Bubba, it is wonderful to see you, man. I can't wait to see you fight again.
My dog. What's up with you, homie?
Hey, man, it's great to see you, baby. Listen, nobody's a bigger fan. Nobody believes you more than I do. And I've been waiting for this time for the come up of Bubba Jenkins.
It's here. It's here, baby. We in our season, man. You know how many times we sat next to each other talking about, man, I just need my moment. I need my Conor moment.
Yeah,
I need my stardom moment. And we here, man. Big stage.
And I know you put in the work. I know you've been putting in that work. You've always been the hardest working man in town. And I'm excited, man. You know, I'm in your corner. I'm always a fan.
3 days.
McCorkle, we got
3 days.
We got Bubba Jenkins with us, who's fighting this Friday night in the PFL against Lance Palmer, the two-time champion. Bubba beat Lance 3 times in college. He lost to him once. Lance is looking really good, but Bubba's gonna do it. Okay, Bubba's my man. We got Sean McCorkle. You guys met before, right? At my wedding.
Yep. Yeah.
That's right.
I think we've done a couple of interviews too. Before Sean was on, he was doing some interviews with us.
Yeah.
So now, this is what you wrote again. This is what you said about Lance Palmer. You said, in steps someone who has beaten him multiple times for free. In steps someone who has looked him in the eyes. He's looked me in the eyes and he's fallen to me. In steps someone who knows his powers, his strengths, and his weaknesses. In steps someone who's not fearful of Palmer. He's an acquaintance now. I've pushed him into the acquaintance box. Wow. I don't know. Because he's a friend of mine. We were cool and we are cool. But I'm looking to knock his fucking head off. I'm looking to secure my legacy. So, he goes, he is figuratively and literally the guy in the way of the champion. I am to be respected, but most people will fear me from the highlights that will come. I'm trying to leave something resounding images from the next opponent. I think I'll pick him apart with my striking. We're going to try to do some wrestling, but it's just going to be nullified. We both know that the controlling of each other will be much more difficult than it would be with other opponents. But I'm a better athlete than he is. He knows how strong I am. I bang more women. He knows how fast I am and how fast he is. And it isn't to his advantage. They're giving away $1 million, and I'm coming for them. I'm coming for them commas. I'm coming for that belt. That's what you said, Bubba.
All facts, all truth. Everything you said was exactly how I feel about it. And, you know, my 1-2, my jab, my bink, my kneecaps, they all going to be right up his alley. I'm going to put him out in the second round. It will be a walk-off.
Ooh, there it is.
Wow.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Lock it up.
Now, if you hurt him, don't walk off like some of these guys do, okay? Don't hurt him and walk away.
Yes.
Actually,
wait till the buzzer. Yeah, wait till the ref pulls you off, man.
I think Adam forgets like how intelligent I am or something. He's been saying some silly shit lately.
You did that a couple times. You did that during a fight. You did that one fight.
No, I didn't. No, I have never hurt a man and walked away from him. Never, not once.
Greg,
you can't find it.
Greg, remember that fight where Bubba hurt the guy and went like this?
Yes, that's true. But it was just momentary, though. He didn't back off for the rest of the fight.
I realized that he was limping, and then I jumped on him.
Okay, you didn't put your hands up and do like a dance or anything and do the worm.
No.
I don't remember the worm.
Jordan Parsons, rest his soul, RP. I head kicked him, and then I watched him do his dance with the stanky
It was
leg,
a dance, and it was hilarious. That was one of the best dances I've seen in the ring. Dude, man, you made him wobble. He was like a wibble wobble.
Bubba and I stood and I watched the wobble. We watched and we were entertained, but it wasn't like a kick. And then I turned around and jumped on the fence, and then he's coming there after.
You started laughing at him.
In the head.
You started laughing.
Yes, I did laugh. But that's not me walking away. I thought it was funny that I had kicked him and he went crazy.
If you hurt Lance, don't start laughing at him.
I might.
I love it. He's like, yeah, no promises.
It worked out for me then too, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It did. Now, what's your song going to be when you walk to the cage?
They're not letting us walk out to music.
Really?
Really? That's what I said too.
Oh. Are you going to wear...
We've been in quarantine for 17 days. I don't have a masseuse. I don't have someone to stretch me. I don't have a hot tub. I don't have a sauna. It's 14 days in a hotel room, and then they let you go downstairs to train in another hotel room with mats on the ground, and that's it.
Now, when I saw you,
I can't believe COVID has killed entrance music. Like it's even got to that. Like
it's got to that. It's got to that.
That is.
Now, when I saw you in Abu Dhabi, right, Bubba, Abu Dhabi, you were wearing you're dressed like a prince. Remember that? You had like a crown on. You had all that kind of stuff. Are you gonna wear any of that during the walk? I think that could.
Bro, I'm not in Abu Dhabi. What are you talking about? I'm in New Jersey.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. All right, I was. I can't wait for this fight, Bubba. I'm so happy for you, man. I
appreciate it.
I truly am happy for you. Now, is your wife and kids with you or no?
I'm divorced, but my children will be there.
You got divorced?
Well, my children will be at my house in Vegas. No one's allowed to be in this bubble, so it's all shut down as far as no one in, no one out. It's like the NBA bubble. We've been here for 17 days or 14 days. We'll be 17 days, and yeah.
Wait, you got divorced? Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, your wife is single? I mean, you got divorced.
I'm not saying Bubba. You know I love you, buddy. Oh, dude. There's no way Bubba's going to lose. Dude, now he needs...
I'm single, living in Vegas with $1 million coming my way.
Yeah, so... dude, now he definitely needs that $1 million. You lost half your shit, and you got like 8 kids. Oh, Bubba, I'm putting all my money on Bubba Jenkins. Fuck that.
And I'm the underdog. It's a 350 underdog, so I'm putting it down.
Well, I'm putting it down too, man. I'm going to throw some money at that. Fuck yeah.
Dude, motivated Bubba's
money for us.
Man, I can't believe. Wait, you got divorced? What, like last week? Like during the bubble? Well, you just had a kid. Didn't you have a kid? Wasn't your kid
246?
246. Is that your kid's name? What?
That's for my age.
What?
My youngest son is 2.
Youngest son is 2.
Divorce was recent.
Oh man,
but the focus is this fight. We ain't talking about that shit.
Oh yeah, no,
focus
forget
is
that.
the fight.
I'm happy. Listen, Bubba, dude, this is a whole new. All right, this is motivated Bubba. I love this. Is Dewey in your corner? Who's in your corner for this fight?
Dewey Cooper and my boy Timmy Kawamba, young man that we've been working on. He's tough, 2-0 fighter. Really just helped me to come. It's hard to find other people that don't have a life that you can just steal them away for 17 fucking days. So
yeah, no shit.
We got what we could.
I had a good time hanging out with your buddy T in Arizona.
Yeah, you hung out with T. Edwards?
Yeah, I like that guy. Good guy.
Yeah. He get you some bitches?
Dude, I'm married, bro. I'm married. No bitches. He's back with his ex-wife. His wife/ex-wife is smoking hot though.
Yeah, he usually has a couple of pretty things around.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But he's
I bet you do too, man. You be careful out there in Vegas, man.
Hey,
just rap it, bro. Just rap it.
Hey, that
that
blue check hit different when you slide in them DMs.
Wait, no.
Well,
Wait, is this fight in Vegas or New Jersey?
Adam, where the fuck have you been for the last 45 minutes of this conversation?
This fight's in Vegas. I am sick, and I'm on fucking.
Honestly,
I'm on day.
Honestly, you just asked me about wearing some shit that I wore in Dubai, and then I specifically told you, why would I do that? I'm in New Jersey, bro. I've been in New Jersey, bro, for the last 17 days.
But he keeps saying Vegas.
New Jersey, bro.
Greg, did you not say Vegas, Greg?
Yeah, you said you're living in Vegas, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm living in Vegas. Where am I quarantining?
Okay.
I thought you were quarantining in Vegas. You're not. You're quarantining in Jersey.
That's why I said it there. All right, listen.
I'll agree with Adam on that point. I also thought you said you were quarantining in Vegas.
I can understand him not understanding because he just got here. Yo has been on this phone with me for 45 minutes.
Listen,
Greg has an excuse. I've said the word New Jersey probably 17 fucking times.
All right. Listen, weight cut fucking anger issues, okay?
Yes. I'm 3 days away from trying to murder someone. So, yeah.
You know what? That's where I want to be. If I ever get a chance to hang out at one of your fights again, I want to be there after the fight when you can eat again. And I want to go out for that fucking meal, man, where you order the whole menu and we just go bazonkers on that motherfucker.
Yes.
That's what I want to be around for.
I'm much more patient. I'm much more laughier. I'm much more jokey. This is angry Bubba. Like I gotta fucking cut weight right after this. What's so good about that shit?
All right, well,
you guys get it done.
He's over here eating beef jerky and drinking beautiful, colorful drinks in front of me and shit. Like I don't have to. Oh, how's your weight, Bubba? How much do you weigh? Get the fuck out of here!
Don't get mad at me, bro. Bubba, I've been with you since day one, bro. Day one we were friends. Don't even fucking. I've been to the top of the mountain.
Only friends can talk like this to each other.
Yes, give me a break. I still haven't got my wedding gift, by the way. It's been 4 years. Okay, so anyway.
Hey, Greg, I didn't think it was going to last. My bad.
That's a deep burn, baby. That's a deep burn.
That makes two of us. All right.
And now his wife can't watch the show.
If you get that $1 million, I want a wedding gift. Fuck that. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. So,
but I think I got married. I think I got married after our show too, though.
Yeah, I wasn't invited to your wedding.
I was married for 10 years. You know that, right?
Was I invited to your wedding?
I didn't have a wedding.
Oh, well then how am I give you a wedding gift if I don't get invited to a wedding? You don't like. All
right, touche. I got you. I know you got kids. I'm gonna get you something for your daughter.
Please, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'll get you something for one of your 7 kids. Listen, Bubba,
Sure.
I am a huge
Actually,
fan.
Make it one of my 7 girlfriends. My kids have enough.
Fuck yeah. now, after you beat Lance Palmer, what do you do? Are you going to call someone out? Are you going to put the whole division on notice? Have we talked?
The division will be on notice by default. I just beat the champ. I just did to the champ in 10 minutes what they couldn't do in 5 years. So the division will be on notice, but as far as calling someone out, that doesn't make sense since you win and you advance. Who is there to call out when half the guys have won and half the guys are lost? It's a tournament. It's a bracket. Stop acting like you don't know what I've already told you. It's a bracket. You win and you advance.
I know.
Remember we had that whole conversation.
Yeah, so you don't even.
Hey, I like that you can't talk shit and you got to just win and the next guy wins and you got that guy. You don't remember that whole conversation?
I guess that's, wait. I guess that's true though. Like you get whoever's next in the bracket. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Right. So
it's a tournament. It's a $1 million tournament.
But you can still have
That
fun.
is what a tournament is.
If you're calling out a guy from the other end of the bracket, and you're like, "You're lucky, motherfucker, that I'm in a different bracket."
I'm going to see you next. You're like, no, you're not. Well,
No, you're not.
I want to see him next.
Well, if you
Like,
make it, and when I make it, then I'll fucking see you.
All right. Well, listen, you're fighting a guy who's on an 11-fight winning streak, to two-time champion. But you got this, dude. You are the former Brave champion. You're on a 3-fight winning streak, 2 of them by knockout. You were 8-3 in Bellator, Division I NCAA champion. You do it, bro. You got it. You got this.
Yes, sir. I'm the
time.
champ killer. That's what we do. We kill champions. I'm the champ killer.
Yes, and you're single and angry and divorced
and motivated.
I fucking love this, man. This is a whole new level.
Listen, you know what though? I have to say this. Now that I know you're single, this explains taking the shirt off in the posts as often as you do.
Oh yeah.
I get it now. You're
I'm
like, oh, let me just totally, man.
Yeah.
Now I know. I'm like,
about that.
totally. I know. I'm like, listen, I get it, but this is a lot of gratuitous shirt taking off here. Now it makes perfect sense.
I got fans to please.
Listen, those abs are the ads. You know what I'm saying?
Magic Bubba.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, listen.
Oh, yeah.
Bubba,
you guys hit me up when you're in Vegas next time.
I will.
Oh, for sure. You can count on that.
Take care, brother. You're the best.
Wait, I thought he was in New Jersey. I'm just confused.
That's the most MMA roasted moment we could have.
All right, that was Bubba
Jenkins left. He's like, fuck.
No, I got him out. He had to go.
I love him. He's so great.
Yeah. I honestly think he was like really mad at me, but I honestly, in my defense, I am on Terraflu and Dayquil. I'm getting.
Oh no!
Thank God I got the. Thank God I got like the vaccine, so I know it's not COVID. Well, I mean I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's not COVID.
I wouldn't count on
it. I was gonna say, you mean you have COVID light?
Man.
It might not be COVID, but it might be a blood clot. It's no big deal either way.
Now, Greg, should I take out that part about him wearing the stuff that he wore in Abu Dhabi? That's funny, right? No, I'm not gonna get like. Am I gonna get people fucking hitting me up saying that I'm?
No, it's not. No, I think it's fine.
Yeah. All right. So we got to talk about the elephant in the room, McCorkle.
Oh my God.
No, so we got to talk about the pod. I'm not the pod. We got to talk about Ben Askren. I talked about it with Bubba a little bit, but I want to hear your take on it because so many things to talk about. First of all, after watching Ben, I went back and watched some of Ben's sparring, and I thought everyone thought he was trolling. Like he was putting up bad sparring to make it look like he didn't know what he was doing.
I didn't think that.
But no, that was actually what he was actually putting up his best. Like those were the good takes. And look, I love Askren, and like I told Bubba, it shows you how good of a wrestler he is, and how good he is of like another skill that he could win 20 fights or 19 fights, become a world champion in 2 organizations with the limited boxing that he has. But then all the boxing he did, all his stand-up it was the anti-boxing. Is let's get this fight off the ground. Let's not stand there and trade. Let me grab you. And which is why he never really learned how to box. That being said, he also fought at 190. He fought in the UFC at 170. So he's coming up to 190. And it looked like...
Oh, he looked like he was a good 210.
I mean... Jake Paul was shredded, but you know that he was coming down from 210, 205. So Ben doesn't usually get hit by guys that are 205 pounds when he's fighting at 170. And fuck, man, I mean, there's so much. I think the fight was stopped early, but I think the ref did Ben a favor because I don't want to see him get carried out in a stretcher. I don't want to see him he got up, he walked out, he was smiling with his wife, he was laughing. He's now $1 million richer, and I guess that was the best case. The best case scenario would have obviously had him win and be competitive, or at least he didn't get seriously hurt in there. McCorkle, Greg, what are your thoughts?
Go ahead, Greg.
Okay, first of all, I think it's hilarious that you are taking it this seriously. This was not a fight. It wasn't it was a joke. It was a show. It was like wrestling. It was scripted. You don't see someone that happy to lose if there wasn't some kind of a bonus for taking a dive. okay? First of all, and then he didn't even try. He's so out of weight, out of shape. He looked like me. I was like, seriously, I was like, holy fuck, has he been following my diet plan? Like, was I his trainer? Was I, like, it was so awful. It was almost like he took it so unseriously that he was like, you know what, I'm just going to get fat, and that way I don't even want to fight when I'm in there. Clearly, there was some kind of a bonus, whether it was deliberate or wink or whatever, but there was definitely a, listen, take a dive, I'm winning this. And then the whole thing, the theatrics afterwards, again, it was straight wrestling, man, with him with the crying, oh my God, I beat another non-boxer, but like, it's such a fucking joke, bro. Quit taking it seriously.
Sean.
Yeah, I think part of what Greg is saying is just his absolute shock from how terrible that entire event was. But I think we learned three things watching, or I did the other night. One, I learned that there's no way in hell Ben Askren was training boxing during his MMA career at all.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. He looked like he had never boxed before, like not even sparred.
Impressive how good he did.
Right. Yeah. He looked like he had no clue. Like, I'm not good at stand-up at all, and I would have looked way better than that, even in the shape I'm in now. Like, it's terrible. But I think we learned that. We learned that Jake Paul's maybe better than we thought for sure, you know what I mean, to be able to throw a right hand like that, landed on a guy who's actually somewhat of an athlete or a boxer. And then the third thing I learned watching that whole event was it actually is possible to put something on TV worse than Brendan Schaub's comedy special. I was sitting there, I was blown away at how terrible the performances, the music, to everything. I was like, I can't believe this is on TV and I paid for it. Like, I can't even.
Oh, my God. I watched it on bootleg and felt like I got ripped off.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, how seriously can you take it when you have somebody smoking weed on the dais right next to the fucking ring?
There were so many things wrong with it. I mean, first of all, he said after, look, I don't give a shit about the fight. I'm doing this for the money. Like, he literally said that, and he doesn't give a shit. The next day, he went and played disc golf with his friends. He had a barbecue. And he has 5 wrestling academies. He doesn't give a shit. So part of me is like, well, if he doesn't give a shit, why the fuck should I give a shit? Why am I?
Yes, that's my exact point.
I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning depressed about it. I'm not kidding.
No, and not only that, you've been defending it on fucking Twitter and shit. And I'm like, dude, why are you giving a fuck about this? It was a joke to everybody involved. All they got was money.
It's just the whole thing bothered me because I grew up a huge college wrestling fan. Ben Askren was like a guy that I looked up to, and then I
and you still can as a wrestler. He still doesn't have that loss does not count against his wrestling career.
I tried to help him get in the UFC. I point blank asked Dana White on the podcast, can you please sign Ben Askren? I wrote a fucking song for him that went viral, 2 songs from him viral. Like, he helped me out with some business stuff. We're friends. He's like, hey man, you come to my house, you can stay at my house. Like, he been to shows. He's a good dude. Like, he's a good guy. And Woodley is another guy that, like, we did comedy together. We hang out. Like, I like those guys a lot. I like that whole crew. I like Biggie, Mike Rhodes. So to see this fucking kid, this punk, who, you're right, Jake Paul has been spending 3 years doing this. People say YouTuber. He's not a fucking YouTuber. Just like Charles Rosa isn't a chef. And just like Kenny Florian, people say, oh, Kenny Florian used to work on Wall Street. So you're going to say, oh, MMA fighter knocked out by a banker. Okay? He's a kid that's a good athlete. He was a great wrestler in high school. He wasn't like the best ever, but he was a very, very solid, good wrestler who's been taking boxing seriously for 3 years, has a fucking ton of money, and he can pay off Shane Mosley for fucking lessons every day and pay off these guys and get great camps. And who knows? I don't think they're testing in Triller. Allegedly, I've talked to people that are in the know.
Wait a minute. You mean the Sporting League of Triller is not abiding by USADA regulation and the State Athletic Commission?
So I personally know of people
this is absolutely shocking.
I personally know people
Adam.
So I personally know people that were involved in those organizations that have taken a lot of stuff before their fights, okay? So
yeah, isn't Triller an app for making videos?
and Ben, during the whole thing, is tweeting out, like, during the music things, this is not child-friendly entertainment. That's
Peter's getting knocked out, almost dead. But
dude, I'll tell you this. One, yes, this guy's training real boxing.
Yeah.
But you made the only point that needed to be made is that he is still 0-0 against boxers.
No, and that's the thing. Look, and also
that's it. He has yet to fight a boxing match.
All these idiots that are like, oh, it shows that the MMA guys. No, in a real fight, Ben Askren would murder him. Like there are guys that 8 years ago, I was wrestling guys that were in the UFC, and I was doing very well and like beating them in wrestling. In an actual fight, I would get obliterated, like not last a minute against guys like Dan Hardy or whoever. They would kill me. Okay, and that's how Jake Paul would do in a fight against Ben Askren. When he had him against the ropes, when the ref separated it, he would have just body locked him, put him on his head, and the fight would have been over because he would have just fucking punched him until the ref stopped it. Or
and Jake, no way Jake doesn't know that, or else they would have done an MMA fight. There's no way he doesn't know. But
exactly.
It could have been much worse. Like for you guys, you could have lost $2,000 instead of winning $6,000. I lost $2,000 the other night all because of Askren, because with my parlays and my other bets, I would have won $6,000. So it was an $8,000 swing for me when he got knocked out.
You bet on Ben Askren?
I bet 3,000 just on Askren. Yeah, just on Askren.
God, we talked about this. I said the smartest, Jake Paul isn't stupid because the smartest thing he did was find the one MMA fighter with the worst boxing skills in the league. He found the one guy that he could say was a fighter, but it was terrible at the one thing he was going to challenge him to. That was the smartest part about the whole thing.
And I can't.
But it was a fix. The whole thing was wrestling.
But I still can't tell if Askren is smart or not for doing this fight, because on one hand, like, yeah, he made I think $1 million, right?
Plus that bonus for taking a dive.
No, he made $500,000 for the fight. I think he got some part of the pay-per-view. On one hand, he got that, but his name and his legacy. Look, it's not tarnished for me, but a lot of people are. Where's he gonna go from here? And now he has to I don't know.
Yes, but for him, he provided for his family for several years, and that's all it was about.
He already has
if
that.
If it were about anything about his legacy, he would have trained. He would have been in shape. He would have taken it seriously.
No,
but he didn't.
No, he thought he was gonna win. He went in there thinking he's gonna win, but his thing was, I suck. This guy sucks more. And that's a very dangerous fucking way to play a game of I'm going to bet this guy's worse than me. like that's not.
This wasn't a real fight. Quit talking about it like it was a real fight. Stop.
I don't believe Ben threw the fight, but if you think for a second that ref didn't have a bonus coming for him if he stopped it, you're crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody was on the pay in this thing.
I guarantee you that ref
the results were
guaranteed. Stops the fight, that there's something in there for him. If I'm sure they told him, hey, by the way, if Jake wins, however, we're going to throw you some extra, or whatever. So of course there's and then they said Snoop Dogg's a part owner in that, and Snoop Dogg was betting it against. Like a promoter can't bet on fights,
Dana White says he's absolutely not paying Snoop $2 million. He said that they called him right afterwards. He did Tyson's podcast. He said, I'll put $1 million on Ben Askren. And then they called him and said, the guys want to take the bet. He said, I'm not going to illegally bet.
Right. Well, and he could get 2-to-1 odds.
Yeah. So
you get 2-to-1 odds in Vegas. Why would you go
I'm not a fan of Snoop Dogg's combat sports. I thought he was completely disrespectful when he did The Contender. I think there's a way to be funny, but still not just be like, oh, you got knocked the fuck out. Like, there's a way to do it. It's hard, but there's a way to do it. What's up, guys? Bet Online is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your sports action. Football might be over, but the NBA, college basketball, and the NHL are in full swing. BetOnline even covers awards. How cool is that? TV shows and reality TV, which I love to watch. They got real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline has you covered for all the news, the scores, and odds. It's the best way to place your bets, and it's free to sign up. So head to the website and use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. So don't sit on the sidelines anymore, huh? Don't be that guy or girl. Get in on the action. Don't forget to use that promo code CLNS50 to receive a 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. So visit our good friends and exclusive partner at betonline_AG. Take advantage of the best bonuses in the business. Sign up for a free account and use the promo code CLNS50 for your sign-up bonus. Use the hashtag BetOnline. It's not just me, Greg. Okay, the entire MMA community and fighters are now in a fucking uproar. Okay, first Dustin Poirier says, "I want to see Mike Perry versus Jake Paul." Right, to which they sparred before, and according to Mike Perry, Jake Paul held his own, if not beat him the first couple rounds, and then Perry came on later. Jake Paul says, I already beat that guy in sparring, and there's a video of Perry going, you kicked my ass. But Perry's like, I was just being nice. And you know what? A lot of times, like, when you spar with guys or roll with guys, and they do better than you expected, or you want them, oh, you fucked me up, even though they didn't fuck me up. If he really did fuck him up.
Especially when he's signing the check. I mean, you always compliment the guy, the rich guy that just hired you to spar with him, that you let take some shots, and you're like, man, you really kicked my ass. Make that out to me, to platinum Mike Perry, and that's $7,500 for the hour. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what you say. That's what they would say to Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. Like, good job. Oh, what an athlete you are. I mean, come on, man. Dude, this is so dumb.
I know some high-level jiu-jitsu guys, and I know a guy who's like the Mecca guy in Hollywood who trains all these celebrities. And my friend was there during a celebrity session. I'm not gonna know who the celebrity was, but he was like putting these like chokes in, like a rear naked choke. And the guy was like, "Oh my God, you're so strong!" Like the Brazilian, like 8th degree black belt was telling the celebrity that he was like the greatest.
Dude, have you ever seen the videos? Okay, ancient films of Elvis Presley doing karate. Okay, because that's what this reminds me of. Because his posse, they'd go like this, and hold the arm out on the punch, and he would like duck it, and then while the arm's still extended, then he would grab it and do like a hand grab, and they'd be like, "Oh, you did!" And they'd go down, and he'd be like, "I did it again. I'm the king."
I can't believe Greg's insinuating Elvis's black belt isn't legit. It is cool that Jake Paul has his own Memphis Mafia though around him. That's pretty cool.
Oh well, let's talk. We gotta talk about that, okay? Because there's a lot there. Okay, first of all, so we're gonna get to the real fights. I'm sure people are sick of hearing this, but whatever. It's entertaining to me. So now Dylan Dennis said, "I'm gonna save the sport of MMA." So I wrote, "We're all fucked," right?
By retiring.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
To which Al Iaquinta wrote, "The only guy with worse hands than Ben Askren." Like, that's what he put right above Dylan Dennis. So then Dylan Dennis goes, "I would sleep you in one round," to Al Iaquinta, which would not happen.
No.
Dylan Dennis, but you don't want that fight. Plus, you're in different organizations, all kinds of stuff. Then Dylan Dennis said he could beat Ngannou, which is like the stupidest thing. All right, so then I said,
wait, how much does Dylan Dennis weigh? Like when he fights, what's he fight at?
I think it's
155. I think.
155.
Yeah, there's not a lot of knockout power in a 155-pound body, man. I don't know. I'm not buying it.
I mean, so far he's 2-0, but he's a jiu-jitsu guy. He hasn't actually. And the thing is this. So now, so that's there. And now there's a video right now of. So Tyron Woodley came to watch Jake Paul get his hands wrapped. Right. That's like what. And every fighter, every time there's a boxing event, the corner goes to watch the other guy. That's how they found the one guy was loading his gloves. Remember that one guy was putting stuff in his gloves, Margarito, putting like plaster caster in it and knocking everyone out. Well, the corner went in there and goes, "Hey, wait a minute, you get so Woodley's over there and he's with Jake Paul, and there's a guy named Jalen Love who was a good boxer back in the day, not even back a couple years ago. He was one of Mayweather's guys. He was like 23-3. He didn't really achieve what he could, but he was a top level guy. So now he comes in, he goes, you don't know nothing about this, Tyron, and like, so then they start going at it, and it becomes like kind of heated. And the video has since went viral. You got to see the video, but it's just like you kind of felt bad for Tyron because they were trying to bet on their guy, and he was like, and Tyron's like, "I got my belts at home," and then he's like, "We're in this." So anyway, so that video went viral. Gilbert Burns saw it. Man, just saw the video with that clown being so disrespectful to Tyron Woodley. Woodley should have hit that guy right there with the 3-piece and a soda. It's becoming a circus, right? And then what's his name got very upset about it too. Daniel Cormier. Cormier goes, I mean, the way this dude talked to T. Wood makes my skin crawl. All these kids are going to get taught a lesson, I swear, and I can't wait for it. Jalen Love, you can't fight. You better respect dudes like T. Woodley before he puts his hands on you. He ain't Ben. And then Jake Paul writes to Daniel Cormier, okay, fat boy. So me versus you and Jalen versus Tyron Woods. So now Cormier responded by saying, I'm not going to fight this guy. What has he done to earn a fight against me? But then he goes, but I would like to fucking kill him, though. So maybe I should fight him, but I'm not going to. How do we think, Greg, any comments on this?
Well, the more you play into it, the more money you're putting in this kid's pockets. I mean, the more his formula is working. He's baiting everybody into his formula, which is, okay, come fight me on my terms, in my fake division, with my fake setup and fake rules. Where it's quit giving in to ignore this kid. I mean, nobody should fight him. Nobody should do anything.
Now they're saying it's going to be Woodley versus Jake Paul. Henry Cejudo says Jake Paul's going to beat Woodley because he's been doing this for 3 years. Woodley has not been boxing straight. This guy's just putting in the time and effort. A lot of people are saying,
you know what? The MMA fighters should say, listen, come to MMA. I'll fight you right now. Otherwise, I challenge you to fight a boxer. Fight a real boxer, win one fight against a real boxer, or if you want to fight me, come fight me in MMA. But this, meeting him, you're giving him everything. Woodley, it's so stupid.
But Tyron Woodley, if they put $1 million in Tyron's pocket to fight Jake Paul, and Tyron takes it very seriously, not like Askren. I mean, Tyron can actually throw punches. Has boxed before. I think if Woodley puts in a real camp, he destroys Jake Paul.
I think without question. I think he goes in there and he kills this kid. In fact, I think it turns into one of those kind of Mayweather things where he's kind of just keeping him on his feet because he likes hitting him.
This is what Tyron said: begging so hard to get your prostitute gig. Because he doesn't want to fight that guy Jillian. He goes, "You trying to fight everyone but me? When you realize I'm not with the child's play, you froze like winter and started stuttering. You want real smoke, or you want to keep padding your bitch-ass record?" So that's what Tyron said to Jake Paul. It's funny because all these MMA fans who normally hate Tyron Woodley are now coming to his defense. Like, hey, that's our guy to fuck with. Like, you better not fucking go. Because now it's becoming – and then Hasim Rahman Jr. wants to fight John Jones. He came out of nowhere. So now it's becoming a boxing versus an MMA thing. I would like to watch Tyron Woodley put a hurting, but look, here's the thing, Greg. Tyron Woodley's lost 4 fights in a row in the UFC. If he gets $500,000 presented to him, or $1 million to fight Jake Paul.
Well, and that's what this has turned into. Again, everyone's falling right into his formula. And this is the one thing I give this kid credit for. He is a great promoter. He's a great business guy. He's found a way to bait guys into situations that make him a fuck ton of money. And all we're doing is saying, let me help you get more money. Let me help you get more money. I know. Like, it's so dumb, man. I think all this is stupid. I think MMA should completely ignore this guy. Ben Askren made his mistake, but he made his check. But that doesn't mean everybody has to follow him down this road. Listen, let Ben Askren live with what he did to his career and his legacy, and everyone else needs to ignore this fucking idiot.
Well, it doesn't stop there, okay? This guy.
Of course not.
This guy Pat Downey, who's like an amazing wrestler. He's like the bad boy of college wrestling. He goes, "I'll be your Huckleberry." And then Kendall Gill. Remember Kendall Gill on the Nets? He's a 55-year-old basketball player. Well, he's 4-0 as a boxer. He's posting videos. He wants Jake Paul. Now that guy's a real boxer though, Kendall Gill. Even though he's 53, I still like him over Jake Paul.
Well, exactly. At least fight a boxer. Just fight a boxer. Box a boxer.
McCorkle, you want to see Kendall Gill getting against Jake Paul?
I doubt his 4-0 is a real 4-0, but I think actually a couple things. One, it's amazing. It just shows what we're even doing now, what a genius Jake Paul is, especially for a young kid, because he's got everybody talking about it, whether you want to or not. And the most amazing thing about this whole situation to me is, like you were talking to Bubba earlier, how crazy is it that for any fighter to try to go make $1 million, they have to go anywhere but the UFC. Like, you got to go to boxing against Jake Paul. You got to go to PFL to fight their tournament. Anywhere but the NFL of fighting, you can make big money. It's sad, really. So
then Cody No Love chimed in. He goes, your whole squad would get fucked up. You beat a guy that can't box in boxing. Why won't you come to the cage? Because you're a pussy. So is your whole squad. I give up 50 pounds to you and knock that toupee off your fucking head. You'll be exposed soon. So that's Cody No Love's like 23-0 as an amateur boxer. But he'd be cutting a lot. He'd be giving up a lot of weight. Now, do we think that I said, why don't we just go like this? Make it a 6-round fight, 1 round boxing, 1 round MMA, and you alternate, right?
Wait, but 1 round they get to use baseball bats with barbed wire, and then the next round you just throw some pigs and let them run around.
You don't think it's a good idea? 1 round, come on, McCorkle.
No, I think it's a terrible idea. I think it's the worst idea you've ever had.
By the way, Mayhem called me from jail asking me about the fight before and after. And he's supposed to get out in the next month. He wants to fight Jake Paul. So we're putting it out there. Mayhem Miller, he's been training in jail.
Now that is worth paying to see. Because you want to talk about 3 rounds, you don't know what's going to happen. First of all, there's going to have to be like a weed break, and followed by a meth break, and then another weed break. So it's going to be very interesting. He's going to go back to jail, the richest motherfucker that went out on parole.
The real question is the weed break before or after the barbed wire baseball bat? We're getting ahead of ourselves here, Greg. The barbed wire baseball bat round definitely happens after the meth break. Okay.
So Derek Brunson said, how come everyone was mad about Jake Paul, but you're cool with CM Punk? Well, CM Punk fought in MMA. At least he actually tried. He didn't just challenge MMA fighters to go wrestle in WWE. I mean, he actually this guy has
fought in the legitimate league. He didn't create his own fake league. To then have everybody, fucking. I don't know. I'm losing it over this shit.
Isn't it weird how some of Greg's promotion ideas sound very similar to the shows I used to put on? Adam, we're like, we'll do 1 round like this, then girls will pillow fight, then we'll have 2 girls punch a guy in the face.
How is that not the biggest seller in town? To me, that's genius. Oh my God! None of this. We shouldn't be talking about any of this. It's so dumb.
1.4 million people watched this thing.
Well, and you know what? And I hope 1.4 million people felt ripped off.
They did. But I'm saying
I did.
The only ones. We were talking about it because it's actually going on right now. I mean,
I know. I just think that we're lending credence to it.
No, you're right. It's it sucks that it's comedy. It's basically the Brandon Schaub effect of you're right. Let's give him this guy's on comedy for a week and let's put him on fucking Showtime. And everyone else what about? I get it because he puts asses in seats and yada yada. And I don't hate it. Because Schaub actually did more of the work. Well, this kid's doing work too, though. He actually trains hard. He trains hard in boxing. But you're right, Greg. I want to see him fight an actual boxer. A guy who actually – don't fight a guy who's coming off 2 hip surgeries. You're dangling fucking money in his face to say you knocked out a guy that literally had never thrown a punch in his life. And don't fight another guy that was won the dunk contest who's been fighting for 3 months. You've been fighting for 3 years. You've been having the best training. You're obviously a decent boxer. Fight a guy who's also been training for 3 or 4 more years in boxing. Make it a fucking fight. You're right.
That was the one point out of all this, of all those tweets and all this nonsense that went on. The one thing that I really thought was the only cogent point in it is that he's still 0-0 as a boxer against boxers. He has 0 record against boxers.
I mean, you're right. I mean, boxing is part of MMA, but it's like taking it as somebody who does improv, putting on a stand-up comedy stage. It's
I haven't trained this skill. I don't have this skill. I know that was the other thing I was saying. He picked the one guy that's an MMA that he could say is a fighter, but doesn't have. That was the worst at the one thing they were attempting to do. That was smart, but it made the whole thing stupid.
I can't believe Askren fell for it. But then again, did he fall for it? Because he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck either way. But then I think, what about his kids getting made fun of and teased? Your dad got knocked out by fucking Jake Paul. I mean, that's got to be something, right? That's not a legit thing. Kids don't get teased anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll tease him about that instead of the Masvidal knockout. Maybe that was the genius all along to make people forget the Masvidal knockout. He's going to get another one. So
That is the funniest thing.
Yeah, so let's talk about some real fights.
All right, let's talk about Kelvin Gastelum. I'm saying out here. Kelvin Gastelum lost to over the weekend, Robert Whittaker. Good fight, solid fight, competitive fight. But like you're right, just like McCorkle said, this guy's got to fight in his weight class. There's a reason we have weight classes, and he's just too small for 185.
It was exactly what we said, that he wasn't and I didn't think it was that close. I felt like Whittaker dominated him pretty good.
I think he got rocked real early and never fully recovered. But I also think he's getting hit by guys that are just too big for him. It's like sucks if there's not a 175-pound weight class. They just go up 10 pounds, so 55, 65, 75. But 85, these guys are just too big. I mean, you saw that with the Chris Weidman fight. You see it now. Yeah,
but I mean, again, for Kelvin, though, that's where he has to fight because he doesn't come in starving and angry and still missing weight. I mean, this is as good as it was going to get for him. He fought the best guy he's going to fight. I don't think they're going to give him another – I don't think he steps back up to this level again. And again, I like Kelvin. Great guy, great fighter. But the way that it has to be for him, I think this is as good as it's going to get. And I was surprised he made it all 5 rounds.
I wasn't. He's so good. And he wasn't even supposed to be in this fight. He just happened to take the fight on short notice because the other guy dropped out also.
Didn't he lose all 5 rounds on one, at least one of the judges' scorecards?
Yeah, he lost the fight, but it was competitive. It wasn't. I didn't think it was a shellacking. McCorkle, what did you think about the fight?
Yeah, I was actually just disappointed because I was looking at getting another 2,000 to 3,000 if Whittaker finished him because I was sure he was going to finish him. So I was betting that live, but
I would have been with you on that. I would have taken that bet, every day and twice on Sunday because I thought for sure I kept waiting for it. I was like, here it goes. Here it goes.
At the end, when Whittaker started coasting, at the end, I was losing my mind because I was like, my chance to get my money back. But yeah, it's Gastelum. It's crazy, man, because sometimes you learn more about a guy when they lose than when they win. When he lost out to Sonya, that dude is an animal, dude. Like he is. Gastelum hung in there. He almost won to a guy far in a striking battle who's far superior to him in striking. And then for him to go in there, Whittaker, I've always said I think he's the best, regardless of what happened with Stoudemire. I think he's the best 185-pound fighter, and he didn't. Ain't like he almost won, but he hung in there with a guy who was way bigger than him. I think sometimes just genetics are unfair, man. Like Gastelum, I mean, he might have heavy bones. He may just have bad genetics, body fat-wise. But if he could make 170, I think he beats almost everyone at 170. That's
the thing. But as a fellow Mexican, I can tell you, it's the genetics. Yeah. Our bodies love fat. We just love it.
He's also been like, what I think, like the baby of the family. Like he's got like a bunch of a sister and a mom, and they feed him. He's that chubby Mexican kid that like we have to make sure he's fed, and he's never grown out of that. Like
at the same time, he can do a standing backflip. So it's like it's crazy to me that he could look like that and be that athletic, man.
Exactly. Listen, it's not you don't grow out of it. It's just called being a Mexican kid, man. That's what we do. Shit. I mean, I get it. But I don't think, I don't think he can fight comfortably at 170 because he never makes it anyway.
Also, Jeremy Stephens was supposed to fight Drakkar Klose. That was going to be the fight of the night.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw what happened, Greg. During the weigh-ins, Drakkar had his hands behind his back, and Stephens, they went face-to-face, and Jeremy pushed him, like shoved him. He flew back, got whiplash, threw up all night, had to pull out of the fight. Got sick, and they posted the medical records, like his neck got fucked up. Something happened to his like back where like, you're not expecting a push from Jeremy Stephens, who's hungry and angry. And then, Drakkar Klose is one of the toughest guys I've ever seen. He's not going to bitch out of a fight. At the same time, a guy has his hands behind his back. You don't push him. It was an unfortunate situation. Dana White got mad at Sean Shelby because he thought Shelby should have been there to kind of be in the middle of them.
To catch him?
To like sort of break it up. But Shelby kind of dropped the ball. But, man, I say you still pay Drakkar for that fight. At the same time, man, people are like, well, if you can't take a push, how's he going to take a punch from him? But I don't really think that's, look, you're not expecting –
Well, you got to see the video and see what led up to it.
if the difference is if you're not ready for the push and you're completely relaxed and you're cutting weight so your body's dehydrated out anyway, and the guy pushes you when you're not ready, if it hurts your neck and you can't feel – I mean, I've sneezed before and couldn't feel my arm for 2 hours, you know? If it hurts you like that, why would you go in and fight hurt knowing that the UFC will cut you for having a bad win, let alone a loss, you know? I mean, so that's why I wish to God the UFC should be forced, which they never will without a union. They should have guaranteed contracts. You get this many fights in this amount of time, even if you lose all 6. If you're not sure about a guy, sign him to a 2-fight contract, sign to a 1 fight. But they want it both ways. They want to sign guys for 12 fights, but we can cut you anytime we want. So that's really a 1-fight contract is all it is. You know, like, but they own you the rest of your life. You know, so it's like fighters really do.
It's so complicated because, you know, it is complicated because people are like, well, why are boxers getting paid so much? Well, it's actually like the top of the chain boxers. It's not like
right, totally. Everybody else is fighting for $100.
And at the same time, boxing has been ruined by promoters because you got guys like Arum and Don King. So you get Pacquiao, Mayweather, never happens. You know, happens 7 years too late. You have 9 fucking belts. But then you have guys who are, you know, getting 15 and 15 to do essentially the hardest sport in the world. A sport literally about like if any other like you take a boxer and you go, hey, why don't you come to baseball for and they'll do that. Why don't you come to the soccer and challenge me? They won't come to MMA because they know how fucking hard it is. It's the hardest sport in the world. You're learning 6 different fucking sports. You're not learning one sport.
No, you're right.
You're learning
and here's the thing. I think personally, because of the exclusivity that comes with signing with one league or the other, and particularly with UFC, and when you talk about guys who can't get a fight or this guy pulls out or what they can't, and the money and everything, I think they need to go to – when you get signed for 3 years and you get a monthly stipend. And then it's up to them to find you fights and to use you. And if they don't, you still get a check, not a huge check, but a check that keeps you a professional fighter in their league, on the ready, at all times. And then I think it's more equitable. And then, of course, once you fight, you have a chance to win the bigger checks. But I think, $3,000 a month, they could easily afford it, wouldn't kill them. And it would make it so much easier for the fighters to not say, oh, I can't afford to live. I can't afford this. I got to do that. I mean, you're taking them, you're making them part of your league, give them a monthly stipend.
Yeah.
You know what upsets me about the whole pay structure? Like I said, the fighters are to blame because they need to unionize. But like, when I was on the UFC video game, I got $2,000. That's all I got for being on the game, and $7.67 for my Topps trading cards deal that I had to sign 500 cards to get. So, but that's all from the UFC. And I was upset because when they gave me a $2,000 check, people are like, well, they're not buying the video game for you anyway. And I'm like, okay, then don't put me on it. Don't put anybody but Anderson Silva on it and see how many copies it sells. It won't sell any if all the fighters are fake, Just like all the NFL guys get $12,000 to $18,000 depending on what year for Madden. If you're the worst offensive lineman on the Green Bay Packers, you still get $18,000 for them putting your name on John Madden football and PlayStation, right? But guys are always like, well, with unions, or they'll say like on a fight, nobody's paying to watch you fight anyway if you're not on the main card. Then don't have an undercard. Like if you're not making any money on the undercard, don't have it then. You can say that, and I could say the same thing. Well, if John Jones, they're just paying to watch John Jones. Okay, well, if John Jones retires tomorrow, does the UFC still go on? Yeah, well, apparently he's not the only name that matters then if this still goes on, So it's like I used to get tired of hearing that. They're like, oh, you shouldn't be making more money. You're on the undercard. I'm like, well, I was co-main event at UFC 124, and I only got $10,000, and it sold 800,000 pay-per-views at $65 a piece. So you tell me, you know what I mean? Like, if it can't be both ways. It can't be you're the main event or co-main event, you don't get any money, but hey, you're down on the card, you don't get any money either, But as long as guys are willing to fight for nothing, and that's why I don't ever get mad when John Jones and those guys say they want more money. As long as guys are willing to fight, just be on TV, nothing's ever going to change, ever.
I can't wait till fighters get paid a ton of money. It might be better for the podcast, though, because then guys won't come on the show anymore, but they'll be like, I'm not coming on your show. I'm fucking on my yacht. All right. Andre Arlovsky beat Chase Sherman over the weekend. Like I said, I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. Some of these veterans, they're just slick. They know how to out-slick these new guys. They don't necessarily beat you up, but they know how to win the fight. And I think
they know how to win the rounds, and they know how to reserve energy for the second half of the fight. I mean, that kid just gassed the fuck out, and then Arlovsky took advantage. I mean, he baited him.
Tracy Cortez, like I said, smoking hot, beat Justin Kish That was, man.
Dude, Tracy Cortez is smoking hot. She might be my new favorite.
I told you.
Know.
You guys don't believe me. I see people.
You're right. I was like, oh my. And she's a heck of a fighter. I like her.
I want to get her on the show. She's had a really tough life too. Her brother passed away. She's like has a crazy story. All her other brothers, they all train under Cejudo. They're all wrestlers. She's a good person. She's been through a lot.
I couldn't believe that was a split decision, though. Because, I mean, that Kish girl was good in the first round, but then Cortez, I thought, dominated her in the second and third round. I know. I was like, wait, what racist? No, I'm kidding. But, I mean, I just was surprised somebody saw Kish winning 2 out of 3 of those.
Romanov, the kid's he's really good, but his striking is, I don't know. He beat Espino, but it was getting close.
Dude, listen, they gave it to him because of the knee thing. That was my favorite part of the whole night, when he just laid down to take a nap in the third round. He got hit in the nuts, was like, nope, that's it, I'm done. That was hilarious. And then, but the reality is, Espino was definitively winning that round, and if they were being honest, they should have, if they were going to judge it based on that, then they should have given it to Espino.
Was right. What about the guy who kicked in the balls?
That's what I'm saying. Actually, I was expecting it to be a split decision draw. I figured one of the judges would take away a point and make it a draw. That's what I was expecting. And to me, that would have been the best decision, as opposed to actually giving it to the guy who laid on the ground and, was like, I can't fight. I didn't buy that for a second.
Jessica Penne, she won. I'm happy.
She looked good.
That was like the worst date I've ever been on in my life, was me and her. I went to kiss her, and she had like an 800-pound dog that jumped on my back and pinned me. It was like she has got one of these big fucking never-ending story dogs.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about her. You're talking about an actual dog.
Her dog. We were end of the day.
I thought it was like she jumped on you like a dog.
No, I did.
And I was like, isn't that what you wanted?
And then we kissed for a second, and then all of a sudden I got pinned down by her fucking dog. And it was I was like, all right, I guess I know who's in charge here.
Did he hump you to assert his dominance? Was he humping on you?
I was going to say, so you did do it doggy style then.
It was not good. It was fucking bitch.
Hey, real quick, an update on my $10,000 dog. It bit my son yesterday, so that's good news.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
Oh, God.
This show isn't called McCorkle's Great Life Decisions. So, this really falls right in line with what I expect to happen.
I'm glad you're rooting for me, Greg.
So last week,
I'd rather be dead than Greg, so it doesn't matter.
By the way,
someone was dying over that on Twitter. They're love it.
I saw they loved it.
So Don Fry yesterday hits me up and says, is the podcast today? I go, tomorrow. And then he's not here. Just so you know. But
it's okay. He's Don Fry. He can live on his own time.
But by the way, speaking of dogs, so my dog still is scared of me. I think the last owner was a man, beat the shit out of him. So I come home the other day and I left the door open and the gate was open. Of course, I go to get the leash to walk him. He runs out in the street. Cars are swerving. I fucking run after him, get him back in there. I'm just like, oh my God. I dropped my cell phone to get him, right? A Mexican lady walks by, takes my phone, right? I don't realize this till an hour later. I'm like, where's my phone? I'm like, I think I dropped it when I get the dog. Now I got to call the phone and she speaks Spanish. Now I got to learn Spanish to translate her address. I got it back though. But
and then she was like, give me a minute. I'm feeding Kelvin.
I got Kelvin. Eat up.
So yeah, that was that.
Get us mas.
Gerald Mearshart won his fight. Super happy for him.
Dude, he looked great. And in fact, it almost looked too easy. He went in there and just he got that guy fast.
It's like every other fight. The guy either looks great or gets knocked out in 10 seconds.
I know. It's like this guy, I don't know. I sometimes I think he's a world beater, and then sometimes I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? I like this guy a lot. Yeah. Every time I see him do something like this, I'm like, how is he not fighting for the title? This guy looks great.
He told me he sparred with Ben Askren 300 times and won 1 round out of 300. To show you how good Ben Askren is. Because
at wrestling.
In sparring.
Boxing?
everything. MMA, mixed martial
Well,
arts.
MMA, right, where you can use everything else, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Because let's just to be clear, it's not like, because otherwise, forget everything I just said about Gerald Mearshart. He's also
He's terrible. I had several people tell me I didn't used to like Ben Askren. I thought he looked like Rocky from that movie with Cher, Rocky Dennis.
he does. He looks like the Mask. Yeah.
Yeah, the Mask guy. James Krause told me, I can't remember who else, 2 or 3 people that are really good told me, said, man, Askren is an animal. Krause said he was unbelievable. He said absolutely unbelievable, like on the ground, not just wrestling, but grappling, like submissions, everything. And that surprised me because I didn't think a lot of guys didn't like him, but everyone that trained him said he was absolutely unbelievable. So obviously not at boxing, but
no, not at boxing. It just shows you though, man. It's like, look, I would say, Sean, the average Division I wrestler could beat 99% of the UFC in wrestling, right?
yeah.
Like in wrestling, the average high-level black belt could submit 99% of the UFC in jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
High-level black belt. So
if it's not another high-level black belt, obviously, but
right, or high-level wrestler, right?
Right.
So it's the same thing with boxing. Everyone's just stuck on Jake Paul being a YouTuber, but he's a kid that has been spending 3 years perfecting boxing with the best training in the world, and he's a fucking good athlete, and who knows what fucking juice he's on. So he's going to beat a lot of guys in the UFC in boxing. But it's just
dude, when I used to spar, I could only get pro boxers to spar with me because everybody was afraid because I was so big. Then I was sparring with a guy one day, could not hit him to save my life. I mean, we went 3 rounds. I didn't touch him once. He was always just out of reach, always perfect, and he was just going light on me, hitting me, taking his time. And I look up his record. He's 4-9 as a pro boxer. So I was like, dude, he's that good. But I mean, he had fought a couple world champions. They used him to build other guys up, But I boxed another guy that was 17-3. Just, I mean, not super good guy, but locally really good guy, Indiana State champion. Couldn't touch him. Could not get near him. Everything I threw, he either caught, was just out of the way. There's a guy I sent over to train with Stipe named Kelvin Matafu. He was 8-0 pro heavyweight, and he stopped boxing. I guess he's got tired of it. But he was in there telling people he didn't look like a boxer. He's in there giving Mitch Rowan instructions one night. I thought, who is this stooge? Like, as a guy, he seemed like he was full of shit. He didn't look like a fighter. So I sparred. He asked if I wanted to spar a little bit. Dude, it was a joke. It was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. Like, I felt like Ben Askren boxing and getting kneed at the same time by Masvidal. Like, it was, it was terrible. So they're a lot better than people think, man.
I just hope Tyron is loose, Jake Paul. I really don't.
I can't see it, man. I don't know.
Do you think that fight's really going to happen?
Yes. I think that, they're going to, look at the demographics.
Look, if so, Tyrone Woodley murders Jake Paul. Lock it up.
I hope so. I think they're going to look at demographics. They're going to look at Tyron's followers. They're going to look at Jake's followers. They're going to say if he beats Tyron Woodley in boxing, it would really lend credibility to Jake Paul. They'd be like, people know Tyron Woodley. So
did you guys?
Jake Paul would still be 0-0 versus boxers.
Yes.
Did you guys see when Tyron Woodley was talking to Ben Askren? It's behind the scenes. They said that 6'9", Tekashi 6'9", wanted to walk Askren out.
Yeah.
And Woodley's like, "Oh, that's a bad move, man." Askren said, he's a snitch. And Askren goes, "Okay." And he goes, "Well, if you're in the streets, man, it's not a good idea to walk around snitch." And then Askren's wife said, "I don't think we want to be in the streets." Like, it cracked me up because she pointed out the obvious. Ben Askren doesn't want to be in the streets. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's just it's so funny. All right.
Don't forget, it is 420, everybody. Happy 420.
Thank you.
Is it?
And Bellator, Phil Davis lost to Nemkov, which sucked. It was a good fight, though. Corey Anderson won. Paul Daly showed me a lot because he got fucking rocked that first round. Came back. And my man Tall Steve won in 1 minute. He's now 9-0. Our guy Tall Steve. Knee to the face.
Nice.
That's it. Fights this week. Quick rundown. Usman versus Masvidal. Who do we like? Greg Wilson.
I like Usman. Once again, I think Usman gets it done. I think he's just the better fighter. I mean, Masvidal's a phenomenal fighter, but Usman is just a little bit better.
Same, I think. And I think his strengths are Masvidal's weaknesses. McCorkle?
Same, man. It'll look just like the first fight. It's unfortunately, I would love to see Usman lose, especially to Masvidal, but I just don't think he's got good enough jiu-jitsu to submit him, and I know he don't have good enough wrestling to keep him from taking him down. So,
Zhang Weili against Rose Namajunas. I got to go with Zhang Weili. She's looking like I mean, I don't see any holes in her game.
I have to agree with you, my man. I mean, she's made me a believer. I'm on Team Wiley or Wiley or Wheelie. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. Zhang.
Yes.
She got it. I got to go. And not that I'll tell you this. Rose also surprises me all the time. But Zhang is, I mean, tough as nails, that girl. I like Zhang in that. I don't think it's going to be that close, if I'm being honest.
Sean?
I'm gonna go Rose, man. I think her stand-up's good enough to hang in there, and she always surprises me. Like she does better than I think almost in every fight. So
keep in mind, he lost $6,000 betting on Ben Askren and his 300-pound fucking waistline. So
Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Andrade.
Man. I'm gonna call upset here. I'm going Andrade. Her being able to really get in the physical condition she wants to be in to fight the way she wants. I think this is – listen, if Valentina loses this fight, she cannot be beat in her weight division. But I think if anybody's going to beat her, it is Andrade, and it's this Saturday night.
I'm going Valentina. Andrade has really hard problems with technical strikers, which is what Shevchenko is. McCorkle?
Valentina also. I think she'll get it.
Uriah Hall versus Chris Weidman. This is a rematch. Weidman won the first time before they were both in the UFC. Obviously, Weidman's like 1-4 in his last 5 fights, but Uriah Hall is one of those dudes. We don't know what it's like. He like loses the first round, gets reminded that he's in a fight, the guy in the head. He's like doesn't know where he is half the time, but when he fucking turns it on, he turns it on. Greg, who wins this fight?
You know what? This is really tough. What you said about Uriah Hall is all true, and Weidman is a guy that we thought was going to like have this undefeated, stellar fucking Hall of Fame career, and then kind of just got in his own way and kept stumbling. And it's like, okay, so which Chris Weidman we getting? We getting the guy who just won his last fight, or we're getting the guy that had all that up and down shit between his championship and now? To me, it's a coin toss. I would like to see Weidman win, but I just feel like Uriah Hall is going to find a way to catch him and knock him out.
I got to go with Chris and then McCorkle.
I would say, man, Weidman, or I'd like to see him retire, man. And it's not my business, obviously, but if he can't beat, and not that he's a bad fighter, but if he can't beat him at this stage, he probably needs a former champ, man, needs to let it go. And I think what happens, man, like Weidman, I think when you get married and have kids, and I'm not sure when he did that, but I think that it changes you, man, especially having kids. And I think that's kind of what happened to him is when you're young and hungry, it's all fun. You're excited to train. It just seems like maybe it's just a job for him at this point. But I hope he wins, man. I like Uriah Hall too, but I really hope he wins.
Dude, Mike Perry, since he had a kid, is like putting up like poetry online and asking people to train him. He's like the nicest. It's like Major League 2 when like Joe Boo lost his like.
I'm pretty sure nobody in life wants part of their life being compared to Major League 2. Like, you know what your life reminds you of? Major League 2.
You just had a child and it was the greatest event in your entire life. It's a lot like Major League 2. With the fake god that the fake Jamaican you would light a cigar to.
Come on. Major League 1 was like one of my favorite movies ever.
You didn't quote Major League 1.
Yeah, Major League 1 was great. 2 wasn't as bad. 3 was the worst. The minor leagues one was like
they were all. The 1 is a classic. The rest, again, Police Academy. They had like 2 good ones before just
Yeah, you're right. I don't even remember them. Like Bobcat said, he was like learning his lines like on the way to the set. Like he just was like he goes.
It looked that way. It looked like that.
He's like, if I knew how big it was gonna be, I would have taken it seriously. But what happened to Mahoney? Like he just fucking like fell off the earth. He was like.
Were you talking to Steve Gutenberg?
Yeah.
Steve Gutenberg had an incredible run. Cocoon.
I know, but I'm saying but
3 Men and a Baby.
But then since then, like
dude, I think that's all he deserved. I think he got more than he deserved. And when it came to an end, that was it for the Gutenberg.
I don't know.
He was changed his name to Paul Reiser because I can't keep those two apart. They all seem the same thing.
There are some guys.
The Jews.
There's some guys like
William
Zapka has the most robbed career ever. He was amazing in Karate Kid.
Exactly. Look at Zabka's career versus Gutenberg. You tell me who got overpaid.
Gutenberg. But like, where was that for the last 20 years? And you watch Cobra Kai now. You're like, this is the greatest actor of all time is William Zabka.
Yeah. That show's so amazing, man. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's pretty funny though. Like when they had like a 30-on-30 karate fight in the high school. And,
yeah, that was ridiculous.
Dude, if they don't bring back Terry Silver, I'll never watch it again. If season 4 ain't all about the rise of Terry Silver, I give up.
Well, I heard that like they didn't bring back the one guy. I don't know what happened to the one guy they didn't bring back. The guy that was like 40 that joined the Cobra Kai. They got a job at school.
Oh yeah.
He was great.
And he's got William Zabka's agent. Maybe that's what happened.
And then like
disappeared.
I heard like the black girl that was in the first season.
Yeah, they wrote her out for some reason. They were like, "Oh, we didn't have any place for her." It's like, really?
Well, no, I heard that like she was on Facebook complaining that like she was underpaid and that she was selling autographs but didn't send it to anybody. And then like this is allegedly like a bunch of shit went down where she said her like boyfriend's car broke down and like she was just complaining all the time about how much she didn't have any money and yada yada. And they were like,
I'm just surprised you remember her as the black girl. I don't see color, so I just remember her as that girl that was heavy set that didn't come back for season 4 or 3. But
I forgot her name, but she was good. I liked her.
He doesn't see color. He only sees Jews.
Exactly.
By the way, before we leave, something that we really have to talk about before we leave, very important, is you see Demi Lovato, what she was complaining about?
Yes.
I imagine.
What was it? Didn't she get like some TMZ clip at a yogurt store or something?
Went to a yogurt store and they had sugar-free cookies. And she said that triggered her eating disorder. And that they were like shaming people with eating disorders by promoting sugar-free cookies. And so she tried to get people to stop going to the yogurt place. If I'm saying it, this is what I got from it. I may be saying it wrong, but everyone's very mad at her now. And they're taking the yogurt place side.
Wait, so she's mad that there were or were not sugar-free cookies?
That there were.
Yeah, hold on. I got to read this because like I don't even really understand it. And this is very important. I'm sure.
See, and this is how you're like, how is somebody that hot and famous single? This is how. This is
right. I'm just trying to figure out why she would be mad about a healthier option. Like, how dare you?
All right. So Demi Lovato blasted beloved LA Froyo. Okay, so that's not LA, fucking LA Times. Like they like tell you it, and then you have to like buy the fucking thing. All right, Demi Lovato apologized Monday for picking a fight with a yogurt shop. Over the weekend, the Dancing with the Devil artist slammed the Big Chill for promoting sugar-free cookies and other diet foods, according to screenshots of her Instagram. She said, "I'm finding it extremely hard to order Froyo from the Big Chill official when you have to walk past tons of sugar-free cookies, other diet foods before you get to the counter. Do better, please." She goes, "I will be calling out harmful messaging from brands that perpetuate a society that not only enables but praises disordered eating. Diet cultural vultures." Like a cultural vulture, it's a diet culture vultures. And then she has 12 on Instagram. The Big Chill actually went up 6,000 followers because of that.
So she's upset that a place sells cookies with less calories as she goes to get yogurt, which has less calories than ice cream. I'm very confused.
The whole experience was triggering and awful. You can carry things for other people while also caring for other percentage of your customers who struggle daily just to even step foot in your store. You can find a way to provide an inviting environment for all people with different needs, including eating disorders, one of the deadliest mental illnesses, only second to opioid overdoses. I don't understand. And then he goes, "You don't want to mess with me," she wrote. "You're in the wrong, and the customer's always right." Not true. The customer's not always right. What if a customer comes in and takes a shit on your floor? I mean, that's not true, you know, number one. And number two, it's not about you. They were selling sugar-free cookies. People want sugar-free cookies. Like, get over yourself. Like this has nothing to do with you.
Guys, we can't sell these because one day Demi Lovato might come here at a time in her life when she's just, she's revamping herself, finding her, and we can't have sugar-free cookies because it's sugar.
It's a fucking pandemic. People trying to like make a living having a yogurt shop.
I gotta say, when you talk about Demi Lovato, Jake Paul, these fights, all this business, we're finally coming out of this thing, and I gotta tell you, we're stumbling out of the gate. We're not we're not our best selves coming out of this.
It's crazy. Like, is this really what, like, I mean, is what we're teaching kids? Like, if something bothers you, you go on Instagram, try to get the person closed down because of cookies that have nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. Like,
It's all so silly, man.
It's crazy. And
It's
like,
crazy.
She seems like a pretty level-headed, normal person. Other than this, I heard her interview. She seemed fine. Maybe she just had a bad day. But you know, it's you know, you're having a bad day. Deal with it yourself. Don't take it out on fucking yoga.
Well, you know, and that's why. Listen, I think the internet has been an incredible advance in human technology, but at the same time, if there's one part of it, I think we should that failed. It's social media. Like, I don't see any benefit. All we do is fuck shit up with it, and like that. Okay, say she thinks that, and she says that thought shouldn't go any further than the doors of her car. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you are having that day. So just tell it to the car and whoever's in it. The world doesn't need to know that you're actually, because then now it's obvious you're crazy.
I think Ben Askren was better off without social media. He went over.
Everybody is. Everybody. I think we should abolish social media.
I think everyone should have like 5 minutes a day. They're allowed to go on social media. And
people, should be allowed to address you directly, but no, but this whole everybody can talk to now. This is very bad. I mean, it used to be if you wanted a celebrity to know that you thought they were a piece of shit, you had to write a letter and mail it to some company that maybe they did a movie for and hope that someday, maybe out of a pile of letters, he read your letter and was affected. But that was it.
Yeah, no, this shit is terrible. It's terrible.
And I think it's just like, you're a piece of shit.
Honestly, fucking eat a cookie, you know, eat a sugar cookie, eat a fucking regular cookie. Like, you know, sorry that you had an eating disorder. That sucks. But
I have all the eating disorders.
It's not the yogurt company's fault, you know?
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to be like, how could you do this to me?
You know, not everything's about you. You know, that's the problem. Everyone wants to think everything's about them. And it's not. It's not. Well, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Bubba Jenkins. Take care.
And thank you, Somewhere Don Fry.
Thank you, Somewhere Don Fry. Take care.
Wherever you are wrestling a cactus, we're thinking about you.
Yes, exactly. Take care, brother. Bye.